going into the text.
Yep.
And like that's basically like a relational type of thing. So with how important is it to make sure that the people in our lives help to create that peace and help to focus us in the chaos and in the loudness?
That's so good. I think like the Bible does not tell us much about the relationship of the four men with the paralytic, but they had to love him enough to want him to get something that they already had.
Right.
It's different. Like what I don't have, when you have something I need,
right,
and you are willing to be uncomfortable so I can have what you have, that's a different kind of love.
Yeah.
So I can imagine their relationship had to be established in some way, because they're willing to carry this man for miles in order to be healed, and it's not for their benefit. Most times we live in a time where it's about everything about our benefit. Our Instagram, our social media, everything's for our benefit. But it's those a John Lewis from 17 to 80. His purpose is served in serving people. He gave his life for other beyond himself. That's the kind of mentality that we need more. I think that dynamic is like a big part of what we're missing even in the gospel. I heard this recently, given even what you're sharing. We have to be careful even that while following Christ, we're not allowing our selfishness to evade what God is looking for glory himself in. Meaning that we can make worship idols. Like we idolize things even when it comes to worship. Like we get intoxicated with our own voice. Like, man, I can sing good. I can preach good. They can't get this done without me. That's prideful. It's dangerous. So for them in this text, they've laid down their needs for the benefit of someone else. And that's what I think what carries them. It makes them keep going when they want to stop.
I think one of the things I learned even from you and other mentors that I have is that you really have to constantly take inventory of who's in your life. Or who says they're in your corner. Or who you consider to be in your corner. Because a lot of times, when we face hardships or God is pivoting our lives, we need people in our corner that genuinely have a love for us. And I can only speak for myself. I'm not a affirmation type of lover. I am a acts of service type of lover. And so when I see someone who, I'm not saying that all my friends have to serve me. I'm not saying that, but that's how I interpret love. And I think for myself, I'm always constantly trying to take inventory of who's in my life, because when I'm falling on hard times, I need someone to say, "Hey V, you do need a quiet time. That quiet time with God. You do need to spend more time with God. Is there anything I can do to kind of assist with that?" But in not saying that all our friends have to know God and all this kind of stuff. But I think we need to understand who's in our life and understand those who actually have a love for us and those that really don't. Because you never know when you have to lean on those people. Kind of pushing forward to where you need to be.
Yes. With that, I think we got to be careful with how we pick friends. Many times we pick according to what's similar to what we already are.
That's true. Yeah, that's so true.
And so what happens is their feeding is on the level that they're on, right? So that we get mad when we're not getting certain results. Cause we're looking for similarity.
You better tell me about my life.
My life too.
Who look like me, who talk like me, who in my field. There's nothing wrong with that. But for the beauty of growth, you need cross-pollination.
That's good. So do you think then, because I wrote a lot, but I wrote something about the doubters, the Pharisees, and I have multiple questions on that. But the first one is pertaining to this particular conversation right now is, how do we, when we get to the point where we're starting to make friends or whatever, how do we deal with the revelation that God gives us that some people who we thought were our friends were actually doubters? And they weren't actually there for our best interest. They weren't actually trying to take us to the feet of Jesus. Like, how do we, and then second part, how do we really decipher whether or not our friends are for us or like assignments as opposed to people who are supposed to like help us to grow and progress in our faith? Absolutely.
I'll start with the latter and then move backwards. Even with that, I think sometimes are you single?
Yes.
You're single? I think many times we date people, right, who are really our assignment.
Wow. Well, that explains it all.
Whoa. Right? Whoa. So we think because, I like this can be it.
Goodness.
But what if God, we saw cute, it might be for me. God saw, I need you to help this person get beyond where they were to get them to where I want them to be. So we have to prayerfully enter through relational decisions. I probably shouldn't say this. I'm gonna say it, right? I had a lot of people. I had a lot of people who told me before I got married, I would love to marry a guy like you. You know, I told them, no, you wouldn't. They're like, huh? No, you wouldn't. Like, because of how this right here works, I need somebody that can help push me into where God has cut, cuteness won't help me. It's good to have it. I want that. Don't get me wrong. I want that. But I gotta make sure somebody that when we connect, it's different.
It's different, man. Well, in that same vein, it makes me think about just even with social injustice and things like that, and how even just talking about, I can only talk about my race of people, and our race of people, how we're expected, even raised to be strong. Like I was taught, no matter what, you gotta prove yourself. You gotta be, extraordinary, more extraordinary than anybody else in your class, or extraordinary than anybody else in the office, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, for me, like, why can't I just be me? You know what I'm saying? Why do I need to be extraordinary? And I get it, because of history or because of blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like, why can't I just be me and be the best me that I can be? And I think, what kind of goes, what you're saying when it comes to knowing who I am in Christ, spending more time with, having the right friends around. I think those things are all evident, and it comes out in the person that you are. I think a lot of times too, though, I think we get so caught up in trying to be strong, you know what I mean, and try to be extraordinary, that we wear ourselves down and wear ourselves out. You know what I'm saying?
And I think for me, the place that you're supposed to come as you are was the place that you have to pretend to be strong. Which is the church.
Say it, sis.
And for me, that's where I had to feel like I had to shift to be somebody different, because they don't know me. They don't know who I am. But I have to put on I know the word, I'm super saved, I'm just white as snow. But so it didn't take till I got older that I felt that I could find myself in God and know that He loved me despite everything that I've done wrong, and He's still like, hey, absolutely, you're still my child. Yep. And I have to be comfortable in that to be who I am now. Yeah. So that's
so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
I'll tell you, actually, one of the biggest things behind what you just shared, and I think we even see it in the text that we were talking about earlier, is like many of the facades that we have bought into are being eradicated.
Yeah.
Like many of these standards that we felt we had to live up to because we saw somebody else do it or whatever are being eradicated. Like, if I'm really gonna come to His feet, if I'm really gonna be at the feet of Jesus, meaning like I'm really gonna humble myself, I'm really gonna authentically grow in Him, why are we expecting a toddler to act like a 30-year-old? right? You can't expect that.
No.
And so what happens is we rush people spiritually. Like you gotta be this certain way.
Yeah.
You gotta, especially. I'm gonna use you for example here. Especially when you're talented.
Ooh.
People take talent and equate it with maturity.
That's right. And strength.
Right? So we took a sports. You took an 18-year-old who was broke yesterday, and now you give them millions of dollars because of their talent, and you expect them not to act up on social media or whatever.
Right.
Just because they're talented don't mean their maturity is ready to handle that talent. So that happens also in the church. If you can sing, you can dance, you can whatever, you're perceived as, okay, you got it, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what draws crowd. That's whatever. So we gotta be careful with, man. We gotta help. We have to get back to the heart of discipleship. I believe this. I believe with all this, like God is literally authentically drawing us closer to Him. So we can see what we've never seen before. Like so that we can further believe in areas that we've doubted in before. I believe we're in that place. And I even praise, man, I hope that even for even every person who is watching and will watch this, that they'll see even you all's our vulnerability and desire to like connect, engage. I think this is vital and needed for this time. Right? And so I believe this, whether you all know it or not, your story, your questions, your thoughts have helped people who you may never meet grow closer to a God they may or may not know, because you were vulnerable enough to sit in a seat and share what God has given you. So check it out, man. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in today. You will not want to miss what we have planned for you. So stay connected, stay engaged. We'll be back. See you here at the same time next week. I'm out.